Hello and welcome in second part of our tutorial during which we just as well playing the game and building entirely new castle. Last time when I left off this stream, well, we had this annoying uh, pop-ups forcing us to do puzzles which I don't particularly like. Uh, Before this second broadcast, I've just done a couple of improvements in the castle, nothing particularly interesting, just built some new farms, uh, also recruited some soldiers, not a big deal. So we're back here, and but first, what we can see here that there is an alliance who invite us to join. Now I'm going to join this alliance. I don't know too much about it, but I'm not particularly bothered about the alliance that I'm joining right now. All I need is to actually be in alliance. Later on, I'm probably going to create my own. But at the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and click join. And I'm just going to confirm. And I'm in. Now they're inviting me to go to alliance territory, but I'm not going to do that, to be honest with you. This actually seems to be quite big alliance. Oh, I can claim some goodies. Right, let's claim them. Let's see how this alliance look like. It's not that big. Okay, I might as well move to their territory. Uh, they're all mixed up here. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and move it. Move there. Why not? So how do I move around the map? That's the first thing. So you just need to find some sort of like an empty spot, which this one here should be all right. I'm just gonna click on it, and in this little menu, I'm gonna click on teleport. Now it doesn't allow me to confirm. You see this button confirm is gray and it should be green. So I need to basically look for the spot that actually I'm going to have a green button and then I can move. And perhaps I'm just going to move myself here. Why not? Let's just confirm this. And I'm here. Okay. Now, mm, it's actually quite important to be in an alliance. It gives you additional advantages. As you can see now, in here in this menu where it says alliance, I've got this little hand. That means that somebody from my new alliance is asking for help. So when I click this alliance icon now, something appeared here. Alliance help. You see, there's 9, now 10 green numbers. All those people are asking for help. So I'm just going to help them all. And now, but mostly what I'm interested in is alliance science. This option here. This is actually very, very important thing. And why is that? So at the moment, I can donate to certain things like production speed, like training speed, construction speed. Uh, Once the level of like 16,000, for instance, here is going to reach, then is going to be reached, then this particular area of expertise, let's put it this way, will go up by 1% or by 10 units or by one. Usually is 1%. Or when it comes to alliance capacity, is going to be 10 more alliance members. I'm not interested in any of those things here. What I'm looking for is mounted troop attack. Uh, why I'm looking for mounted troop attack? Well, we're just going to get to that at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and donate to it. There is a cooldown time for donation when you newly join alliance. Okay, so I cannot donate. I need to wait 4 hours almost. Okay. Well, that's a disappointment. But anyway, so this is what changed. Before we didn't have this. Before we just had an empty screen uh, telling us to join the alliance. Right? Here in this button I can see the members. I'm not just going to look at it at the moment. We have also quest here to complete because I helped some allies, so I helped to speed them up actually. So I'm getting some extra points for that. Right. Now, why the alliance is so important? I cannot show you this exactly just yet, but I'm going to describe it for you. So, you remember when I told you that when we start the game, we are on this bubble, which is truce agreement, which prevents anybody from attacking us or scouting us. Now, since I opened this account a little over 2 days ago, yeah, this bubble will disappear within the next, I think, 24 hours. I don't remember exactly if this initial bubble is given by Evony for 3 or 4 days, but I'm going to just assume that it's going to be given for 3 days only. So now, when it disappears, I can be attacked. And being in alliance allows me to, while after the cool-off period, allows me to donate to alliance sites. And once I donate, I'm getting alliance points that just up here in the top. Alliance points at the moment I have 0, but when I donate I'm going to accumulate them and then I can spend them in alliance shop. At the moment I cannot spend anything because I don't have any points, but in this alliance shop the most important items that I'm interested in are truce agreements. They're all locked now, but for those points I can buy them. In that way I don't have to spend gems. Why I don't want to spend gems? Because actually truce agreement is quite expensive. When you go to the icon first purchase here, and when you just go to go purchase, you end up in the shop. Here you can buy some packages for money, but as I said at the beginning, I don't want to pay any money for the game. But you can go to items here on top next to gems, and then you go to war. And when you scroll down, you've got the same truce agreements that you can buy. And you see 3-day truce agreement costs 2,500 gems. That's a lot at the beginning of the game. 24-hour truce agreement costs 1,000 gems. This one, 8 hours. This is pretty much useless for protection. It is used only later. It's a good to be used during server war when you want to quickly attack someone and then put back the truce agreement to protect yourself immediately, but you are ready to drop that truce agreement again. So this is like useful for battles, for protection, the best way is 3 days day truce agreement. And sometimes if you plan not to log into the game for a while, you can use 7 day truce agreement as well. But it costs 50,000 gems. It's a very, very expensive thing. So I'm trying by getting those points through Alliance Science, I'm trying to avoid paying gems for my truce agreements. This is how this is the way of protect yourself without spending any money. Otherwise, I would have to buy a package. One of the cheapest package usually gives me 20,000 gems, and then obviously I can then keep buying those truce agreements using gems. At the moment, I've got 3,200, so I can buy one 3 day truce agreement, which I will probably have to do if this initial one is going to drop within 24 hours. It takes a little while to accumulate enough truce agreements to actually to be able to buy to sorry, it takes a little while to accumulate the points to be able to buy 3 day truce agreement in the alliance shop. So I will probably initially have to spend this 2,500 gems to protect myself for further 3 days, but since I'm going to donate to Alliance Science regularly after cool-off period, 3 days should be good enough for me to actually to get enough points to buy another truce agreement with the points, and then I won't have to spend the gems. So this is very important stuff, and also what I would like to emphasize that this truce agreement, or in other words, bubble, this is the foundation of this game. I mean, you have to use it because this is the war game. There's no charity here. If you count that somebody's going to be charitable to you, forget it. People will attack you, and when they attack you, they can plunder your resources and they can kill your troops. And then once they kill your troops, you cannot retrieve them back. Uh, so you have to build your army all over again. So the only way to prevent the losses is actually to keep yourself within the bubble. So to use this truce agreement. So this is very, very important to be able to afford it. And one of the best ways and cheapest ways, I mean, it's completely free of charge, is just keep donating to Alliance Science. Right. So I'm gonna wait for this cool-off period, which is gonna be about 4 hours, and then I'm gonna make first donation. Now also, the other good thing about alliances is that now other people can help me too. So at the moment, I'm just upgrading the keep. And you see those two hands on top of it? When I click on it, then I will be asking people for help. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And if there are some nice people here, they might as well help me out. Uh, the time reduction from this help is pretty much negligible. It's probably less than a minute at the beginning, but this can be researched later on. Uh, it's always good to ask anyway. If you're a member of big alliance, a lot of people like to press this help button, then you might actually save some time and save some speed ups. So another thing very important that happened is that I was actually given the first general token. It's right here. this icon, and it's number 30, which means that I've got 30 pieces of puzzle to get this general. And when I click on her, I can compose them. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Right now I've got the general token. And when I click on that token and I do use, I have a general. Right? She was Queen of Sicily and Holy Roman Empress. We have a chance to check her now. This screen won't tell us much. To be able to tell you more about this general, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm just going to go to the tavern. And then I'm going to go to recruit. And down in the bottom right hand corner, there is this portraits button. I'm just going to press that one. And here we've got the portraits of the generals, different generals that you can get. And when I scroll down, then here I will find my Constance. Constance the First. So, this is how she looks like. She is not a perfect general. Perfect generals are a little bit different. I'm just going to start talking about this in any moment. But she is still better than whatever I have so far. When I look at my generals who were just given to me by Evony at some stage, I didn't even notice exactly when they appeared. These generals are pretty weak. And now I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's going to take a little while because generals is a very extensive topic. At the same time, is one of the most important things with a game. So it really pays if you know a lot about generals right from the beginning. So let's go ahead and talk about them a little bit more. And just before that, I'm just going to upgrade something. Let's say this farm. There we go. Right. So generals in Evony can be divided uh, by uh, their the initial power, how powerful they are, and how even more powerful they can become. So you look at they're divided by quality. The best quality generals are those which we called epic historic generals. If you want to look at them, it's very easy. You just go to the tavern, go to recruit, and then go to portraits, and they basically come up straight away. These are the historic epic generals. How can you find, how can you realize the epic historic generals? They have the golden frame around their portraits, and also the top left corner of this frame, there is this little icon with a little helmet with something that looks like a little bit wings or feathers, something like that. These are epic historic generals. Now, why they are so good? Let's just look at any of them. Let's say Gustavus Adolphus, for instance. So, when you click on the portrait, you see the specification of this general. First on the top, you've got the initial statistics. Each general have 4 statistics: leadership, attack, defense, and politics. Now, with those epic historic generals, I like to call them gold generals, just the, just to talk about them a little bit shorter, those initial stats are always higher than with other generals. So once you recruit them, they get immediately better stats straight away. The other thing about those generals is special skills. Right in the middle here. What are the special skills? Well, the special skills are certain qualities that are given to the general, they're attached to general, and then once you recruit this general, you already have them. So you don't need to do anything else to acquire those special skills. They're just right there with the general. So let's say this one, for instance, has this fire suppression special skill, which tells us that it reduces enemy ranged troops and siege machine defense by 15% and increases your ranged troops and siege machine attack by 15% when general is leading the army. Right? So this special skill, it's there. You don't need to do anything to acquire it. You don't need to pay any gems. Once you got general, he has it. Now, those special skills, you need to read them very carefully because they're actually written very precisely. So, all these extra 15 percentages of defense and reduction by 15% of the enemy troops, right? All this is applied only when general is leading the army. Okay? Only when general is leading the army. So, if this general is not leading the army, then they won't work. Okay? So, when the general is leading the army, he's leading the army when he's attacking, and he's leading the army when you put him as a main city defense general. Then he's defending the city, but he's still leading the army, the defensive army, right? And only then those things are applied. So if we put him, for instance, as a hospital officer or any other duty, this won't work. Let me give you another example why you need to read this very carefully. Um, let's get the very, very good, very nice General Minamoto. Right? He's got a special skill, Shanao. The attack of ranged troops that are led by general increased by 25%. Right? So he increases the attack by 25%, but only the ranged troops. And if the general brings any dragon from the pasture, the ranged troops attack will additionally increase by 15%. So he is giving our ranged troops only 25% attack. So if you give him different types of troops to attack, this 25% won't apply. Also, this 15 extra percent won't apply unless you attach the dragon to this general. Right? So this is very precise. You need to read this description before deciding if you want to recruit general or not. The other quality about those generals is that they have a thing called speciality. Now those golden generals, the epic historic generals, they have 4 specialities, and these are the only generals they have 4. Those specialities gives you additional buffs. Like for instance, this one with Roland gives you additional mounted troop attack 10%, mounted troop defense plus 10%, march size capacity plus 6%, and so on. Right? Those specialities are hard to acquire. So you think about them in a long term as a long-term investment. Nonetheless, these are the very important parts of general, and every time you decide to recruit, the general, you need to read through them and that actually find out if this is the general that you want to have, or maybe you want to have a better one. Now the second best generals are these with a purple frame around the portrait. They have a purple frame and they still have this little helmet here with the wings, just like my Constance the First. They have also good initial stats, although they are not that good as with golden generals, but they're still fine. Now, they also have special skills. Now, this one has a very nice special skill. She brings back extra 20% resources from the world map resources spots. This is actually quite useful thing. Now, the difference between those generals, those purple ones, in terms of special skills, is that more often or not they have a actually golden general counterpart, and this golden general have a similar special skills, but in higher level. So Constance the First brings 20% resources. Now, when you look at the Korea general here, and her name is Queen Jindok, she brings up extra resources from resources spot, but 40%. So the Constance, it's just sometimes we call them small queen. We call her small Queen Jindok. Now, why I'm so happy to get this general at the moment? The reason being that I don't have anybody better, and it's going to take some time until I'm going to get someone better. So she's still better, pretty much better than any of the generals that I have so far at this stage of the game. When you look at their stats, she's got 104 leadership, 90 attack, defense 91, and politics 106. Now, when I look at the generals that I have so far, over here, I was given those 3 funded generals. Their stats are way lower, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to invest anything on them. I'm going to start investing in Constance. Now, I'm not going to invest in her too furiously because she's still not the best that I could get. But at this stage, she's definitely my best general, so I'm just going to help her out a little bit to become even stronger. So how am I going to do it? If I go to this menu here with 3 dots and press generals and go to our Constance, what I'm going to do first is go to the cultivate, this button down here. And this allows me to actually increase those initial stats. And you can do it in different ways. You can just do gems cultivate by paying 20 gems here, or you can use gold. Let's see what happens if I use gold. See, it increased those stats a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and confirm it. Well, let's try another 6,000 gold. It'll still increased some. But I'm the person who is not that patient just to keep paying 6,000 gold units just to increase stats by 2 or 3. So I'm just going to go to this place, cultivate times 10. It will cost me 200 gems per round. Now I have to be careful because I've got only 3,200 gems. I need to leave myself with at least 2,500 to be able to buy 3 days bubble. So I'm not going to do too much for constants. However, I'm still going to use 200. You see, well, I paid 200, but this increases stats significantly better. It's plus 14, plus 19. So I'm just going to go ahead and confirm. I'm going to do it once again and again, right? I'm going to check how many gems I'm left with. So if I do it once again and pay 200, I'm going to be left with 2,600, which is fine. So I can do it once again. And again. Now, what happened here? Her leadership dropped by 5 a little bit. There's nothing to worry about it. When you do this kind of cultivation, it actually does total increase. So sometimes it reduces one of the stats, but it increases the other one. So it reduced the leadership by 5, but at the same time it increased my attack again by further 11 and my defense by further 10, which is what I want. Right? So now my Constance is a little bit more powerful. Her stats are high. And now I've got 2,600 gems, so I can still afford one 3-day bubble. And this will help me to survive until I get enough points from Alliance Science to buy another bubble from points. Now let's just do this. This will upgrade my monarch to the next level most likely. Yes. I've got another talent here. Like this. I'm just going to learn it. That one is actually quite important because it grants me troop death rate capacity when attacking monster. So this protects my troops when I attack monsters, which is going to allow me generally to kill bigger monsters earlier, which is a very important thing. Right. So this is a little bit about generals and a little bit about bubble and why it is so important, and also why it is so important to be actually in the alliance. So I'm just thinking what else we can talk about here at the moment. Not much. So this stream is a little bit shorter. We're gonna go back with some more ideas and more development of this castle. So thank you very much for listening, and see you next time.